More than just a name and date, they represented hope, dreams, and the satisfaction of building something permanent in an increasingly temporary world. I stood there in the darkness, not wanting to turn on the lights, just feeling the weight of what I was about to lose. This barn had been my sanctuary, my workshop, my connection to a simpler way of life that was disappearing from the world tomorrow. It would be gone, erased by someone who saw it as nothing more than an obstacle to her vision of suburban perfection. I pressed my palm flat against the wooden door one last time, then turned and walked away without looking back. Some goodbyes are too hard to watch. I spent the next 3 days systematically preparing my 29 pump arsenal. Each unit needed to be tested, serviced, and equipped with enough hose to reach from my property to the strategic points I'd marked along the seasonal creek. The smaller pumps would handle precision work, redirecting specific streams and creating controlled turbulence in the water flow. The larger industrial units would provide the raw power needed to move serious volumes of water and sediment. I worked late into each night, fine-tuning flow rates and calculating optimal pump placement. The key was to create maximum water disruption while maintaining plausible deniability. Everything had to look like legitimate property maintenance. The demolition crew had arrived right on schedule, and I was legally required to let them destroy 20 years of my hard work. I walked outside and stood at what I knew would be a safe distance. My hands clenched into fists as the bulldozer operator started his engine. The barn that I'd built, board by board, nail by nail, was about to become a pile of scrapwood. I thought about all the weekends I'd spent working on that structure, all the dreams I'd built around it, all the plans I'd made for filling it with horses and teaching neighborhood kids how to ride. She pulled up in her pristine white SUV, stepped out, wearing yet another spotless white outfit, and surveyed the destruction with obvious satisfaction. Then she did something that pushed me past my breaking point. She took out her phone and started recording a video, positioning herself so that the pile of debris from my barn served as her backdrop. "Good morning, everyone. As you can see, we're making real progress in our neighborhood." Beautification. Project. Her voice was bright and cheerful, like she was announcing a birthday party. Instead of celebrating the destruction of someone's property, I picked up my phone and opened the pump control app at exactly 10. In the morning, I pressed the activation button. 29 pumps roared to life simultaneously, and Operation Water Return officially began. The sound of 29 water pumps starting up at once was like nothing I'd ever heard before, a deep, mechanical symphony that seemed to make the ground vibrate under my feet. It was the sound of rebellion, the voice of a man who'd been pushed too far, finally pushing back by 2:30 in the afternoon. Vivian's Lake Sterling grand opening had transformed from a celebration into a disaster management situation through my binoculars. I watched her frantically trying to convince the 50 assembled guests that the muddy brown water was just a temporary technical issue that would be resolved immediately. She'd positioned herself at the edge of the lake, gesturing toward the murky water while maintaining her practiced smile. But I could see the panic in her body language. "Today, my new barn is finished. Same design as the one I built back in 2004, but stronger and built to last another 20 years. Fletcher helped me hang a wooden sign on the front that reads Blackwood Barn. Rebuilt 2024. As I was hammering in the final nail, he said something that really stuck with me. "You know, Ezra, you taught this whole neighborhood about respecting people's property and minding your own business. That's a lesson this community needed to learn."